Obviously, we're only a few episodes into this season, but a lot has happened so far.
Yeah.
What's it been like for you watching it back?
I'm reliving it. It was a really difficult summer for me, and I was struggling, but I'm getting those feelings again, and I just have to remember that I want to move past all of that.
And how do you feel like you're doing that? Because like you said, you have to, it's got to be so weird being a reality TV star because you live it, then you have to rewatch it, and then you have to talk about it again. So it's kind of like all these different emotions, and you find out what other people had to say about you too.
Yeah.
So what has been the most difficult part for you to watch back, and how are you kind of working through those emotions?
Just seeing Jesse and my dynamic, and it's kind of sad to like rewatch it and just like what we say to each other and what we do. And obviously there's things that I did that I'm like, I should have said that, or I should have done that, and vice versa. And I just try to remember, like, every day I'm trying to be a better person and move forward, and my boyfriend is a great supporter in that, so that's all I can really do right now.
No, definitely, that is, like you said, just path forward, path ahead. Do you feel like you've done so much growth since last summer?
I do. It was a difficult time for me because I had just filed for divorce, and you know, during that stage, I don't care who you are, when you're going through a divorce, it's just so difficult and complicated, and we couldn't agree on anything, and it was toxic. It was so much texting back and forth.
It is a very toxic situation at that time, and you know, like, how, I'm sure everybody's asking you, where did the two of you stand today?
You know, we have good days and we have bad days, and we're not there yet. We're still in the middle of the divorce. I'm trying my best to speed that process up, because I do feel that, like, once all of that is done, we can not be the way we are right now. So it's like, we do have certain moments that are okay, but you know, it's just up and down.
Is it a lot different than it was last summer?
You know, I had to step back and cut communication with him because all of the negativity was just, you know, a toll on myself. So it was really like, there was at least 6 months that, like, we were not speaking unless it had to be about Isabella. So actually, I think that was very helpful for the both of us. And I think it's a little better than it was last summer. Okay,
are you just speaking through like a app or something like that?
No, I tried that.
You just tried that?
He didn't want to do that, but no, it's just like, we have 7:00 calls with Isabella, whoever doesn't have her, and you know, if it has to, we don't really have to talk because we have a really good custody agreement that we both follow. So that is, like, thank God, at least that's good. But if there's anything that I have to ask him, or a doctor's appointment or something like that, then I'll send him a text.
Okay, all right. Well, you guys are navigating it and figuring it out. It's got to be a really big challenge, I would imagine, just kind of going back and forth through all of this. How is Isabella doing?
She's thriving. Good. She's actually, really good. She's getting older. She just turned 5, and she's really happy with her dad and with her mom.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Are you ever worried about in the future about how you're going to, like, explain this if she ever wants to go back and watch the show?
Yeah. I mean, that is my number one worry, and I always think about her, and I feel like that's why there are times where I am quiet, or I won't fully speak up, even though I want to, but at the end of the day, I think about my daughter, so I'm like, you know, I could say that, but I'm just not going to.
Yeah. Did you feel like at times this season that he was kind of baiting you a little bit, especially, like, you know, with the hooker statement and things like that? Do you feel like he wanted that kind of reaction from you? Yeah,
I think he wanted, I mean, one, he knew that it was going to be on national TV. He knew, like, that was planned, in my opinion. Like, it, obviously, if you tell a boys chat that, you know, half of the people are on a TV show, then it's going to be brought up on the episode. And that was very hurtful for me, and that was something that I struggled and am still trying to get past.
Yeah, I would imagine. Do the two of you still work together, too?
Yes and no.
Okay.
The easy answer is no, we don't, not anymore. But we work at the same office. And because we were business partners for so many years, if anybody in the past that we sold a house to wants to sell their house or buy another house, then we will split it. So we actually recently just closed a deal together because we had sold the client the house 2 years ago, or he had bought a house and now he wants to sell. Okay. So we did that deal together.
How'd that go? Smooth?
Smooth. Okay, actually, good. Very professional. Even like, I mean, when it comes down to it, we want to sell the house and make the commission. So it's like there's no relationship comments. It's just strictly business.
No, well, that's good. At least
Yeah.
it's strictly business. At least at the professional front, we're good.
Yeah.
You know, in this week's episode, we see you guys go to Santa Barbara. You didn't get him out of the house, but you're on the other side of it. And the spiritual guide comes in, and you had a really, you know, real moment when you were like, there was a great time in our lives when we decided to have Isabella.
Yeah.
What did you make of his reaction? Kind of getting up, leaving. It seems like he almost had a lot of anger about it when Jason went in to check on him. What did you kind of make of that?
I mean, I think Jesse was also going through a lot emotionally, and he was in a dark place. He was just having a very difficult time, as I was, as I was as well. I also think that you'll see, you know, he started drinking champagne first thing in the morning, and so he had been drinking the entire day. So obviously your emotions are going to be enhanced when, you know, you've been drinking all day.
Sure, yeah. It seems like in the teaser, like you kind of maybe had to feel like you wanted to check in on him. You wanted to make sure that he was okay. Obviously that did not go as planned. You end up throwing a drink in the face. What was that like for you? Was it just a reminder of like, okay, I made the right decision about my life?
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing with him, like going through this divorce, it just gave me that confirmation that like he is who he is. I couldn't change him. He couldn't change. And it was the best thing that I could have done for myself and my daughter. I was checking on his well-being because other people were making comments about it. And I was truly worried about him. And that is why I checked on him.
Yeah. How does your relationship evolve over the course of the season? With Jesse, or I wouldn't call it a relationship, but how do things just evolve between the two of you over the course of the season then?
You will see the ups and downs. You'll see that like I take a step back, and I just think it's best for both of us to not have communication, but you know, we go to Hawaii together and other things happen, so you'll see that dynamic change.
Was there any part of you that maybe wanted to just kind of bow out the season?
Yeah, many times.
Yeah.
I mean, there were many nights, like after Dave and Buster's, that I did not sleep, and I cried my eyes out the entire night. And there were times like, I can't do this, but at the end of the day, I had my girlfriends that were very helpful and motivating, and I couldn't have done it without them.
Can you imagine another season filming with him? Because I know, like you said, we don't really talk anymore. You don't really want. I think you said in the after show too. Like I just don't want to even be in the same room as him.
I go back and forth because I'm like, the worst happened. Like we're seeing the worst. It can't get worse than that. But I also said that after watching season 1 that it couldn't get worse, and I feel like it did.
Yeah.
So sometimes I am a little naive, or I just like hope for the best and it doesn't happen. So I have mixed feelings.
You have mixed feelings. Do you still feel like he's worse than Jax?
I was not trying to compare the two. I was trying to say that there are a lot of similarities, and people got to see Jax for a decade. Nobody knows what Jesse and I dynamic was during marriage. Nobody knows what happened inside the house. And so all I can say is, yes, there were a lot of similarities.
Yeah. Do you feel like he's taking the steps forward to making those changes?
I think he has to, because he has a daughter, and because we split her 50-50. He's done a good job at working on himself. I still think he needs a lot more work, but you know, I think he is maybe doing better now.
Yeah. Do you think like watching the show back, it's almost like kind of a mirror to himself, that like he should treat you like you're the mother of his child?
I hope so, and that's what I kept saying. I mean, even before the summer, I had a one-on-one sit down with him, like, you know, there are things that we should not talk about, there are things we should not do, just for Isabella's sake.
Sure.
And so we kind of made those rules and agreements before the summer started, and as soon as the summer started, he threw everything out the window, which was also something that was very hurtful for me.
Yeah. What were some of those rules that he broke?
You know, the cheating accusations and stuff like that. And it's sad because I watch him say it over and over and over again when he knew what the truth was. Yeah.
I mean, what kind of is the truth from your mouth? Because we hear it from Jesse. It has been brought to your attention this season, but not really. So I would love for you to just kind of explain, because he thinks that like you and Aaron were together for years before this, the Kristen dynamic that that you had a boyfriend?
Jesse knows exactly what happened, and
Okay.
that was part of our conversation,
Sure.
that I was very honest with him. So that was another thing that really hurt me, because he went into this like, I'm going to try to figure it out, and he actually knew exactly the whole story. I don't really want to go into detail because the past is the past.
Of course, yeah.
And again, I just want to move forward.
No, definitely. You and Kristen are still not on? I don't know as of right now if you guys are on good terms. But did it take you back that she was so Team Jesse at the beginning of the season?
I mean, I don't like it because I knew what they used to say about each other, and you know, she never liked him and he never liked her. Yeah. I was the one always trying to get them together. So just to see that, like, oh, now you're in my old home with my, you know, wedding stuff and like having fun and kind of making fun of me. It's just like, I don't know. I don't think I deserve that. But Kristen and I are in a better place now.
That's good to hear, because the two of you really weren't speaking at the beginning of the season. And how did you kind of get to that place? And is she not in a good place with? Well, I saw that she was that Jesse was at the baby shower. So I guess they're still.
So they're close.
Okay.
I can never be we can never have the relationship that we once had. I just, you know, it's really hard for me. I can forgive, but I don't really forget. Yeah. And so I guess that's kind of our dynamic. Like, I see her at times, we can have a conversation, but we're not like super buddy-buddy.
Have you forgiven her about what she said last season, that you had a boyfriend for, I mean, she said that it wasn't for a year, that you had a boyfriend a year ago.
Yeah, there was a lot of like unnecessary comments. I don't think it was her place to say anything. Do I accept her apology? Yes. It's still very hurtful as a friend to say all of these things.
Sure. How does Aaron feel about all this? Is he like, what did I get myself into?
It's hard. I mean, I'm like, what else can I say?
Yeah.
We're both like, wow.
Yeah.
Because we know the truth and stuff. But I don't know. It's like, we're happy presently. We've always been happy. We don't argue. We don't have any issues. So it's like, we have a great relationship. We're not going to let that ruin it.
Yeah, I feel like if he can enter this world and be okay with it and like be able to survive this season, then we're good. Yeah. Do you want to get married again? Do you want more children in the future?
Yeah, I've talked about this. I have always been open. I'm not like, I don't want to date a bunch of people. I don't want to date, like, that's not me. I really believe in marriage. I really believe in being with one person. And so, yeah, my hope is to one day get married again. Yeah. I go back and forth about having a kid because I'm really happy with one, but I would love to, you know, if my partner, like Aaron, does want kids. So, of course, I would be open to the idea of having kids.
That's great. That's great. Well, how are things with Jesse and Aaron? Did they communicate at all? Like, they're fine.
They're pretty good.
Okay.
They don't talk too much, but when they talk, they're very civil. And I think that Jesse likes Aaron.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that you said in the after show that Jesse was kind of digging his heels in when it comes to the divorce. And I think that you said that this could take years. How does that kind of sit with you? And do you feel like he's doing that on purpose to hurt you in a way?
I think especially the last 12 months, he was doing it purposely. I've mentioned that I have a lawyer and he didn't, so it was just costing a lot of money for me to go back and forth about unnecessary things. I recently got an email that he wants to try to be more reasonable and, you know, move on with our lives. So I hope, I don't know, like, I have to see it to believe it. Yeah. Hopefully he means what he says and we can move forward in, you know, closing up this divorce. Well,
that has to be like a weight lifted off your shoulders a little bit. That feels good. Yeah, because I'm sure like divorces are expensive, and I'm sure so did he finally retain a lawyer, or is he still representing himself?
No, he represents himself, but I'm very reasonable. I'm not asking for much, if anything. And I feel like, I don't know what happened to him. I don't know if he watched back the episodes and he just had a wake-up call. I don't know if it was his parents. It must have been something, because it's just like, there comes a point where it's like, when are you going to stop fighting so we can both just move on and be happy?
Right, yeah, because the fighting takes so much more energy than just being happy and co-parenting nicely together. I know finances were brought up a lot. why did you kind of want to talk about that a little bit? Because it seems like you said that, like, you know, he's kind of drained a lot of his finances too.
Yeah, and that was an agreement that he did not want me to speak, but he had done so much to me, and I was like, people don't realize there was many reasons why I left a divorce, and there were many big reasons, and one of them were the financial, and I just think that when you're married, you need to be cautious and careful, and it's family money, not individual money, and I think he was very foolish in many ways, and I just didn't think that was healthy or good for family dynamic, and that is one of the reasons why I chose to leave him.
Yeah, well, I mean, you said that, like, you've been not planning the divorce, but you were thinking about leaving him even a year before we even met you two.
Yeah.
So this has been something that you've been sitting with for a while, and I feel like sometimes when people watch the show and you kind of hold your tongue a little bit, they're like, why isn't she going at it? But, like, you have to understand that you have a child, and that these were the agreements
and
that you
had. And I wish people understood that.
Right.
I'm like, I wish people could just be where I am and understand why I am the way I am.
Is that incredibly frustrating for you sometimes?
Yes, I get really frustrated because it's just like, I get it. Like, Jesse can be funny, and he, like, owns that he can be a douche, and, like, and I'm just more reserved and quiet, but it's because I'm trying to protect myself and my daughter.
Because I'm sure there's times where you're just like, oh, I just want to lash out
Yeah.
and let it all out there.
Which I do sometimes.
Which you do do we see that this season? Do you finally like
I think so.
Yeah, well, I mean, the drink in the face, I mean,
Yeah.
there you go.
And that was not water, that was wine.
Okay, that stains then. How was it? It must have been so great to, not great, but have the support of your friends this summer too, especially Brittany, going through something similar, you know, going through a divorce with a child and things like that. It had to be nice to have her to lean on.
I really had Brittany and Janet's support. Brittany, just like, I call her and I tell her a sentence and she knows exactly what I'm talking about. So it's really good to have, like, which is crazy, what person has, like, one of your best friends also going through something similar and a divorce. So it's like, we get it, and I don't have to explain much, and so it's so nice. And so that's even a stronger bond that we have with each other. And Janet has just been really, really helpful and supportive, and, like, I don't know what I would have done without them.
What was your reaction to Jax admitting that his drug use, that he's been sober for, you know, however many days now? What was your kind of reaction to that?
I mean, I hope that's true. I haven't spent time with him, so I don't know if he's doing drugs or not. I kind of, you know, I have Jesse, so I don't want any association with Jax whatsoever.
Like, I don't need the extra baggage right now. Exactly. But are you trying to play matchmaker for Brittany at all? It seems like she's having fun, just kind of seeing what's out there.
I think it's not the time. I think she's seeing a little bit of what's out there, but I think she's just working on herself and being the best mother, which she is. I mean, she has Cruz full time, so that's a lot of work.
Definitely. You came off your first Valley reunion.
Yeah.
I know you can't tell me exactly what happened, but how are you feeling going into it? How are you feeling after it? And what was kind of like the one thing that you really wanted clarity on?
Well, I never watched a reunion before.
Oh, really? You never watched a reunion?
I never watched reality TV, reunion, nothing. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go into it like I always do and just be who I am.
Okay.
I think it actually went, for the most part, okay. I felt like I got to say what I wanted to say. Okay.
Who was kind of in the, well, I'm sure Jax was in the hot seat, but who else was kind of in the hot seat?
I think everybody at one point was on the hot seat.
Okay. What did you make of your seating placement? Because a lot of people were like, why is Michelle there?
Well,
or like where you were,
I
not why you were there.
was told that it was actually one of the hardest seating charts to do because there was just so many people that didn't get along, and there was a lot, like apparently at one point I was next to Brittany and it just kept switching and switching until the last minute. So, I mean, it is what it is. I don't think it means anything, and they told me that it didn't.
That's it. Well, you make a good point because so many people probably can't sit near one another, and that's.
And to be honest, like I didn't want to be directly across from Jesse, so I was fine with it.
That's fine. But everybody gets their fair share of getting whatever they need to get off their chest.
And we're all close. close to each other. It's
it
not
means
like
nothing. It means I just because I know the Bravo fans were like, "What is going on here?"
Yeah.
So, but it's nice
for
to know.
a second I did too,
Okay.
but I was warned and told by many people that it was just difficult and it means nothing.
It's putting together pieces of a puzzle and
Yeah.
trying to make it all fit. But but so many people wanted this reunion after the first season, so I'm glad that we have it this time. How is Andy feeling afterwards?
I think he was a little bit in shock.
Really?
I think it went well. I don't know.
Well, yeah. I'm sure this show is going to be back for season 3. Are you confident that you will be back for season 3 as well?
I think so.
You think so?
I would like, you see me, which is rare, like the end of my marriage to getting divorced. So it would be really nice to be like, I'm divorced and this is me finally happy.
Yeah, no, definitely. Do you feel like you haven't shown your true self yet because you've been...
You see bits of it. Aaron comes on here and there and you get to see how happy I am. But I feel like, I was still dealing with Jesse and the divorce, but like having that in the back and like being done with it and like I just recently moved into Aaron's house.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Okay,
so now that
good.
we're living together and stuff, I was like, it'd be nice to continue the story in a positive way.
Yeah, and have the happy ending. How has it been living together?
Perfect.
Has it?
Yeah.
Is it so nice because you're like, oh wow, I never realized the relationship could be so easy.
It's really easy and I love it. It's just easy, like we're both helping each other in all ways. He's cleaning, I'm cooking or vice versa, and then we do family dinners, which I never really had. It's like as soon as Isabella gets home, we start cooking, and it's just like lovely to sit down, no electronics, and like have the conversations, the three of us, and it's been very meaningful for me.
That's wonderful. And then goal for you and Jesse in the future?
To just be friends and to no fighting, and have Isabella be able to see us in one room and attend ballet recitals together and stuff like that.